Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Eric and I like to read, and today we're going to be doing my best books of 2021. So as you know, in my last video, I did the worst books of 2021 and I went on quite a rant for some of those books. But now I'm happy to say that I'm doing the best books of 2021. And so now I'm going to go on some happy rants instead of some more like rage slash appalled rants. Although it was kind of fun. I will admit I did kind of enjoy doing those rants. But now I'm going to talk excitedly about all the 5-star reads that I had last year. I'm not doing like every single 5-star read, but I chose the ones that like stood out to me the most and have them in a little pile here beside me. So I'm excited to go through these with you guys. And it was fun kind of reflecting on the year because I was like, oh yeah, I read some of these books early this year, which would have been like January, February of last year. So it's exciting to like reflect and see them again and get excited all over again. All right, so the first one I want to mention on this list is Heartstopper Volume 3. I read this last January. So it was like the very beginning of last year. Super exciting to dive into this, and I adore this series. It is so friggin' cute, and I cannot wait to read Volume 4. I still don't have it yet. I know it's out, I just have to get it. But yeah, this is Volume 3, and it just keeps getting cuter and cuter as it goes. I was just, ugh. And it's also like, it's not just cute and fluffy too. It's also dealing with very real issues that like a lot of teenagers deal with, and it delves in mental health, anxiety, like all that stuff. It jumps into it and gets a little bit deeper in volume 2 and 3. So I think that that's really cool that they're exploring those areas in this series. And yeah, it's not just like surface level anymore, which is nice. And for any of you that couldn't guess from the cover, this whole like graphic novel series is about two boys who fall in love in high school, and it's just, it melts my heart. Then we have Check Please, which is another graphic novel that I discovered through BookTube actually, and then ended up reading this last year. I read both volume 1 and 2. I'm giving both volume 1 and 2 the best rating, like it's a combined package. So this is following a guy named Eric, aka Biddy. That's his nickname. And he is just starting out in college. So he got into the college through a scholarship. The one condition was that he had to be on the hockey team because he used to be a competitive like figure skater. So he joins the hockey team and he is like adorable, and he bakes. He's like, baking is like his hobby that he does all the time. And he lives in this hockey house with these guys and bakes for them, and just, it's so heartwarming to see like how he integrates himself into this hockey team and how he goes through his years of college kind of discovering who he is as a person and like what he likes. And it's a really heartwarming series. And it also like dives into hockey a lot in this graphic novel, which is kind of cool because like I don't normally gravitate towards hockey as a sport, but this graphic novel made it very interesting. So that was really cool. And it also really highlights the importance of having a good team to back you up, and the love of like team sports, and how team sports, the team really needs to be working together. And so I thought that was really cool. So this volume follows his first 2 years, and then the second volume follows his last 2 years of college, university, whatever he's going to. I think it's probably university. But yeah, so each issue has 2 years of said schooling. So yeah, really fun series, and I would recommend this to everybody. Then I read Black Flamingo by Dean Atta. This was another 5-star read. I thought this one was just so endearing. It follows the story of Michael as he's growing up and becoming the person that he is. So you get to follow him from when he's a kid all the way to, I believe, when he is in college, and just follow along with him in his life and all the different things he encounters about himself, all the different things he encounters in the world, and just explores like how he sees the world and what he wants to like kind of like define himself as. And it's just a really like poetic book. It's also written in verse, so it goes really quickly. And yeah, this was just a fun, great read. Next up, we have Legendborn. And so this was a really fun Arthurian retelling. The only criticism I have for this book is that I kind of wish that the characters were aged up a little bit, because they were like in the 16-year-old range, but they were like going to this like pre-college. So it wasn't exactly high school. It was kind of like a boarding school. It was like a middle stage for high school and college. I don't know. It was kind of weird. So I kind of wish they just like upped their age and made them in college or university. Like that would have made more sense to me instead of the like middle thing. But that also could have been to have it like as a YA book instead. I don't know. But I thought this was done really well. The magic in this book was awesome. The like different relationships that happened in this book were pretty cool. And this book just had me like, my eyes were glued to the pages from start to finish. I did not want to put this one down. It got really in depth into the Arthurian lore and like the different knights and stuff like that. And I thought that was so cool. So yeah, this one is definitely one that I loved, and I'm really looking forward to the sequel. Next up, we have Charmcaster, and so this is the third book in the Spellslinger series. So it's kind of funny because in the Spellslinger series, I didn't, like, the first one was okay, but I wasn't sure about the series after reading the first book. Then I read the second book and absolutely adored it. And then I read the third book and I was like, okay, this is awesome. This one definitely made it into the high ratings this year. I'm really looking forward to continuing on with this series. And yeah, after the ending of this one, like, I don't even know where they're going to go with it. So I'm nervous because there's some characters that I hold near and dear to my heart, and I don't know what's going to happen. But that's another reason why it's such a high rating, because it left me in like shock and awe. And I'm just like, okay, I got to prepare myself. Like when I have to mentally prepare myself for a book because I'm so nervous for things going to happen, like that means that it was a really good book before that, or like that book itself was really good. So yeah, I loved this. It's like a fantastical like Western gunslinger, but like with magic in it, if that makes sense. And yeah, like that's like the best synopsis I could really give for this series. And that's for the first one. I can't really delve onto the sequels because that's going into spoiler territory, obviously. But yeah, this series is a wild ride, and I definitely recommend picking it up. Then, of course, we have this beast of a book, Dark Age. This chunker took me a long time to get through, like specifically almost a whole month, because it's a giant book. But also it was like emotionally taxing because I have been so invested in this series since Red Rising, my favorite book since that came out. And I read that. I've been so invested in this series. So then getting to this chunker and going through this, I was like trying to make sure that I absorbed all the information, which there is a lot of in this book. There's so many battles that go on in this book. So many like tactical plans happening and plans within plans within plans. So there's so many things happening. But that just kept me with my nose glued to the pages through this book. I loved it. It gets really, really dark. There is definitely a lot of dark scenes in this book. So be prepared for that if you read this series. There's a reason it's called Dark Age. So yeah. But this was a great like middle book in the secondary trilogy. So I can't wait to see how this secondary trilogy ends. I still don't know when the next book's coming out. I don't think anybody really knows at this point. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to think about it. I'm scared, but I'm also excited. So yeah, this one was a really good one though. And for anybody that doesn't know, the Red Rising series, I like to say that it's essentially the Hunger Games set in space, and it deals more with like Roman gods. So yeah, like that's how I would sum it up, I guess. That's Red Rising, and this was Dark Age. Then I gave The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes 5 stars. I never thought that I would enjoy this book that much, because this book is a prequel book to the series, and it's following the storyline of President Snow. I mean, I still don't really like him in this book, but at least I get to understand a little bit more about him. And I get to see like a whole nother side of the capital, for one thing, and other people in the Hunger Games world. So that was kind of cool that I got to see more of other characters that weren't exactly delved upon too much in the original series. But yeah, I really enjoyed this storyline a lot. I mean, maybe it's just Suzanne Collins' writing that like pulls me in, but I really enjoy this. I know a lot of people hated this book, but I was not one of them. This was one of the books that I loved this year. And then right at the end of the year, I read Aurora Burning. Loved it. I was so invested. I love this book because it follows different perspectives for the chapters. So in this series, you're kind of following like a ragtag group of people that were put together to be like a space flight team. And they're all kind of misfits in their own way. And what I like about the series is, yeah, like each chapter you get to see different perspectives. So you're following like each character in this team, but like you're also following the other characters. It's switching perspectives constantly. So you're getting to see like which characters of this team you like more than others. And you still get to see how everybody feels about certain situations and stuff like that. So there are some specific characters that I like more than others, definitely, but I still enjoy following along with all the characters and like their different little like mini storylines as it goes. And yeah, this one was just good. The ending of this one, this is also the second book in the series. The ending of this one was like, what the hell? It just left me at this spot where I'm like, I have no clue what's going to happen next. And I like finished the book and I was like, wait, that's it? And so now I'm just like, I need to finish this series because I don't know like what's happening with any of my characters right now, but it's a wild ride. Yeah, this whole series in itself is a lot of fun. If you like space like adventure books, then this series you will enjoy. And then of course the last one on this list is Starsight. This is the sequel to Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. And so this one, I didn't know what to expect going into it. I will say it did not give me the like high that Skyward gave me, because in that book I had so many like different feelings for different characters as they're thrown at you and you get to learn new about the piloting school and all that stuff. So I guess I should tell you. So in Skyward, the main character Spensa is put into piloting school because she wants to prove to everybody that she's not like her father, who was kind of branded as a coward because on a mission that her father was on, he kind of went against the team's orders and then ended up getting killed in action. And so she wants to prove to everybody that she's not like her father. She is her own person and she's not a coward. And so she goes into the flight school and does her thing in the first one. So this is now the second one. And I thought it was going to go in one direction, but this book went in a completely different direction I was not expecting, which I like at first was like, okay, I was a little hesitant at first because it's like, this isn't really what I was wanting out of this book. But then by the time it got to the end of it, I was just like, yeah, this was a good book. It had me like thinking I wasn't going to like it when it started. And by the end, I was completely turned around and loving it. So like that is a sign of a good book. And there were so many new possibilities opened up in this one for the rest of the series. So that is very exciting. Yeah, I had a lot of good books this year. And those are all the best books from my year of 2021. Let me know if you have read any of these books yourselves. I know that a lot of you have read some of these books, so definitely let's talk about it in the comments down below. Also, let me know what your best books of 2021 were, because I'm always interested to find more books that I think I will enjoy as well. If you guys want to support me, I have a Patreon and a Ko-fi page, which I'll put in the description down below, as well as a link to buy my bookmarks. You guys know the drill. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification button so you get notified when I post new videos. I post my videos on Mondays and Thursdays. And until next time, keep on reading.